What's up, everybody? It's your boy Roy. We're back here with another life lesson video. And today we'll be talking about the 7 heavenly virtues. A lot of people talk about the 7 deadly sins. Most of you have heard that about them and know what they are. My focus today is going to be about the heavenly virtues, which is the best way to try to practice the heavenly virtues, try to counteract the deadly sins. All right, so let's go through the 7 deadly sins, okay? We got greed, lust, sloth, pride, envy, wrath, and gluttony. And those are the 7 deadly sins. Now, what are the heavenly virtues? Here we go. Charity, chastity, diligence, humility, kindness, patience, and temperance. And those are the 7 heavenly virtues, which are the opposites of the 7 deadly sins. Now, I'm trying to use my tablet because I'm trying to stay more on point, right? Because I get sidetracked in a lot of my videos. I just like freestyle. I'm just like, we're just going to pop in a video, just do it like that. But I need to up my game, right? That way it looks, I don't say more professional. I'm kind of just doing videos for me. But I also want people, if you do watch the video, I want you to kind of like enjoy it. So I don't want it to be like, trash quality. Now, click this other screen here. We'll try to stay focused. Not get no side topics. I always veer off in these different lessons because I have so much I want to cover and talk about. I'm just like, my mind's like wanting to cover everything, but I have to like slow and steady. So 7 deadly sins. We'll start here. Greed. Now we all can think of an idea of somebody or the government or something like that we could say are greedy, where they are all about money, money, money. They don't need money, but they want more money. Maybe you yourself, you're like, I'm kind of greedy myself, Roy. I'm like, well, we all are. All humans are greedy to a certain extent. But the best way to counteract the bad 7 is to practice the 7 positive ones. So let's say you think you're a greedy person. You're like, I'm kind of greedy. I need to work on that. The best way to break the cycle would be charity. That's right. Do things just because you care and want to help people. If you practice doing that in life, you help counteract the greedy nature of yourself. Because once you help people, you get that high from helping people. Not that you should do it for a high per se, but you know someone you've helped out in your life, and it feels really good to help them out. You get that good feeling. And then if you're greedy and got more money out of something, let's just say you sold something for a profit, like, yeah, I got that money. You kind of like, it's kind of shady, but that is what it is, right? Charity. By practicing charity, you can counteract the greed nature that you may have or may be dealing with. The next one is lust. Greed and lust, I think, are the prime reasons we have so many issues in the world today. Everything is sexualized in the media. No matter where you look, sex, 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 because it sells billions of dollars every year in the industry. It's insane. So what's the opposite of lust? Well, chastity. I mean, it's called chastity. I like to say more of a purely, you don't. The problem with lust, right? Let's just play it hypothetically. Let's say we've all hooked up with people that we really wanted, and we're like, yeah, I got it. Let's say you were lusting after some chick, you got it, you hooked up with a boom, and like, yeah, I got it. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, well, and then the next. Well, it's funny how much you lust after somebody or something. Maybe it's an item. Maybe it's not even a person. Maybe you really wanted this game system. I can't wait to get this. I need this. I need this in my life. That sounds kind of funny because most times it's just people lust. But hey, is lust in all aspects, right? Potentially. You lust after something, you acquire it, and you're like, okay, well, it was fun. You feel good for a second, then, oh, well, on to the next. Why is that a mindset? Why do we always try to find something new? There's always a new high we're after. Well, the best way to fight against lust is chastity. Try to fight these urges, man. You're gonna like lust after all these chicks and want to hook up with them, or if you're female, you lust after a bunch of guys potentially, or whatever. Just don't do it. It's a waste of time, man. I mean, yeah, get some people like, well, you gotta, I feel like you do kind of gotta sow your wild oats while you're young, because I feel like that's the only way you can truly settle down in life is get the partying out of the way early in. Then you know what you want, and because otherwise, let's say you come out of school, you get married right out of school, dude, and you never partied, whether you male or female, like 10, 20 years down the line, you'd be like, oh, I missed out on so much. And even though you didn't really miss out, because people that party, like me, if you talk to anybody who's older, they're like, oh yeah, man, I used to party all the time. Then you're like, but as you get older, you look like it's a lot of wasted time and effort. Didn't really matter. Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, what do you got to show for it, right? Well, hopefully you don't have like lots of kids and child support, but that happens to some people, or they get lustful after some chick and wreck their marriage. And now they're paying alimony, etc., what have you. That's gonna destroy your life. Chastity, you don't need it. You may want it, you don't need it. I know it's kind of a short answer, right? Oh well, let's jump into the next one. Sloth. Sloth. And we all know somebody who's got some sloth practicing going on. These are the lazy people who are to do the bare minimum, don't want to do nothing, don't try, like, yeah, I don't care, because they really don't care. Now, how do you counteract the sloth behavior? I call it laziness, but they call it sloth. Basically the same, but I like to say, let's just call it what it is. It's laziness. There's some lazy people out. They don't want to do nothing, want everything given to them, etc. Clowns, all of them. Idiots. But what do? There's idiots out there. There's no way around it. Practice diligence. That's how you beat it. Diligence is like hard work ethic. Like for me, I have a hard work ethic. I go above and beyond, not because I mean, not because my job requires me to, but me, myself, like I know what I'm capable of doing. So if I don't do my top notch, I feel like I'm failing myself. So things in life you should do primarily for yourself. Yeah, help others, be the best version of yourself so you can help your family, friends, etc. But make sure you're doing these things to improve for yourself. Otherwise, if you do it for somebody else, you may start to resent them, etc. There's a whole no. We're not going to jump in that. We'll get a side topic. Sloth, lazy people. I'm going to call it laziness. It's called sloth, but these are lazy people. You have the workers you work with. They're useless. They're lazy. Like, they weren't here. There'll be no real difference. Diligence. That's how you beat that. Maybe you feel like you're lazy and you don't try at work. Well, why don't you try? Like, well, Roy, I don't get paid enough, or I don't care. You should do it because you want to do it, man. Like, don't do it because I'm talking about it now in the video and calling you out. I'm not. But, like, you should care. Like, you should try to be I don't see in my mind, I could imagine not trying to be the best version of myself in any possible thing I'm doing. Now, obviously, obviously a little out of weight. I'm overweight here. But I used to be skinny. And you progress in age, you get late, you get married, you get lazy, etc. Not trying to say it's a cop-out excuse. I just got done, I went to the gym, and I'm trying to get back in the gym rotation. And I started trying to clear some of these pounds off and get back to where I need to be, where I used to be when I was young. So even me, it's hard for me. Like I'll work, do a bunch of extra stuff on the side when I get home, and I still gotta make myself go to the gym. But God, I don't want to do this. But then when you go, you're like, thank God I went. You feel great afterwards. That's a fantastic feeling. If you yourself are dealing with sloth, if you think you're lazy, and they say sloth, but I'm gonna call it lazy. You lazy? You don't try? You want to break that cycle? Diligence. Try harder. Be better. Be the best version. Not because they're paying you to or expecting you to, even though some places do expect that, and you probably should deliver. But you know what I mean. Come on, man. There's no reason to be lazy, dude. You're here for a short time, then you're gone. At least leave back a legacy. You don't want you to die several years down, and then people talk about you like when you move on to the next job, whatever, you're dead, and they're like, oh yeah, remember that lazy dude, da, 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 and they're like talking about you. You don't want to be remembered as the lazy, useless person who everybody hated, who made people's life harder. Don't be that guy. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody should want to be that guy. Because God knows we all deal with it, and we hate them to a certain extent. Kind of there's hate, right? We have some hate. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on things, but we're covering. Let's jump back into. I'm getting sidetracked again. Eventually, I'll get these videos in without getting sidetracked. But there's so many topics I want to cover. So much I want to dive into. Just got to pace myself. We'll cover. Next, we're going to talk about pride. Now, we all know about pride. Now, you've heard people, maybe somebody in shady business, whatever, somebody screws them over, and then they get them back. And like, it's about the principle. It's not about what they took or what they did. When people say it's about the principle, it's basically about the pride. Oh, you think you're going to take this from me? I got you, bro. I'm going to get you right back, even more. Pride And also, another thing pride does is it makes you feel like you're better than other people. So you see yourself as superior and everybody else is less. That is terrible. People can feel that if you have that kind of vibe and energy. Maybe like, hey, Roy, I'm kind of a prideful person because, you're looking around your friend group like, I'm at the top. I'm the best one out of everybody. Everybody else ain't even trying. Because the reality of life is most people aren't trying. They don't even know the game of life is being played. They're just, oh, daily life, oh, well. Don't be that person, man. If you're that person, you just go through life like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. You try to take some pride in something, man. Like, pride is bad if you do it too much. But, it's good if it... Some people are motivated by pride. I am motivated by pride. But I also have to fight the negative aspect of pride. And how do we fight pride? With the heavenly virtue, humility. Being humility is key. Trying to be like, okay, I'm just like everybody else. I may do this more or harder than somebody else. Doesn't mean that they're less than me. It's trying to bring yourself down because you're thinking you're up here. You got to try to bring yourself down. Alrighty, the next one, envy. And we all know some people who are envious. You've had probably ex-friends, classmates. They envy of something you get or something somebody else gets. Da, 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 da. And envy, it is what it is. Like, people want something that you have because they don't have it. What have they like? You don't deserve it, or they deserve it even though they don't. Well, how do you counteract envy? Well, you use kindness. That's correct. Envy's like, I need to take this. I need that. He doesn't deserve that. I should have that. Kindness is be like, you know what? He worked hard. He deserves that. And if I want something like that, if I want whatever it is, with an item, etc., I'll be like, I'll work hard and I'll get it too. Help people. Don't be like envious. Like somebody else is trying to come up, and you're like, oh, I see you, and they ask you for like maybe advice. And you're like, I'll just sabotage them because that way they can't reach the top. I don't want them taking my power position or what have you. Don't be that, man. Do kindness, dude. Put out some positive energy in the world, man. There's so much negative out there, bro. It's insane. I know we're going through these kind of fast, and it's not as organized as I was hoping to make it. I was like, hey, I'll get a tablet out. We'll get a couple notes, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's a work in progress. We'll get it down eventually. The next deadly sin we'll talk about is wrath. Now, we all know it's that rage, that hate you feel. Well, how do you counteract the hate? Patience. Let's say you have a work coworker, right? And they have like one simple job. And they continuously mess it up because they just don't care. Because they're practicing sloth. Or laziness, as I call it. Now, there's a potential you would get angry. Like, I'm tired of having to pick up after or go back after this person because they constantly do this wrong. You may get in rage mode, like, just do the job. And that anger and rage starts coming out, that wrath. Because you want to, like, they're screwing you over in some way. In your mind, they're like, they're negatively impacting me. I need to negatively impact them with violence, words, etc. So how do you counteract wrath? Well, with patience. That's correct, patience. Maybe the person who constantly fails hasn't been shown the right way. Maybe they're not all there. Maybe they're a little off. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be polite. Maybe if someone keeps constantly messing up, you should probably be like, hey, so I notice you keep messing up on this. Like, pull them aside. Make sure you talk to them outside of anybody else being around. That way their pride doesn't kick in, which then makes them angry. With the wrath, they'll come back at you because like, oh, he's embarrassing me in front of everybody. Pull them aside, it's just you and them, and be like, yo, so I've noticed you keep dropping the ball here. And maybe you can like try to like coach them or help them in some way. But having patience and trying to like ask or try to like, instead of just getting mad, like this guy constantly messes up, be like, hey, pull them aside, like, yo, man, so I noticed you don't do this. And then be like, do you need to be retaught? Well, I guess you probably should say it a different way. That comes off kind of like pride. I'm better than you. I'm looking down on you. Work the words out yourself. I'm not trying to tell you what to say to people, but patience is how you counteract wrath. All right, next up, gluttony. Well, you may look around like Roy representing gluttony because I got a belly on me. You're not wrong. Your boy likes eating unhealthy greatness. I'm trying to. And how do you counteract gluttony? Temperance. Trying to temper that off. I don't need this. I don't need that. I want that, but I don't need it. You're trying to temper off the desire, the fulfillment that you're getting, whether it be food. Like, oh, I love all this food. Be like, I don't need this food. I need to pace myself. I need smaller, better. I know this. So I envision this video going a whole different way. Like I figured like perfectly lined out. I was like, I use a tablet. Now I got a couple notes, and here we are. I just can't help but just be like, yo, man, this is I'm all over the place, but we're gonna get it down. Just stay patient. I'm not gonna apologize because clearly it's a learning curve. If you see my other videos where I react to stuff like that, you're gonna see like I changed my background. I'm trying to work on visuals. I need to get an intro, etc. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get my stuff looking better and more professional and done and better put together, right? Because I have so much I want to talk about and cover, and there's so much knowledge to be shared. But the key thing for me to do is to pace myself, slow down, because I talk really fast. Sometimes I get excited and I start talking really fast. Like I try to pace myself, bring it down, and just go over it all. Make sure it's nice and clear when you hear me talk, that way you know exactly what I'm saying. So this video was I just wanted to cover the heavenly virtues, which are the best way to counteract the deadly sins. Because everybody talks about deadly sins, but we all know video games have them, TV shows have them. And let's go through the deadly sins. What are the 7 deadly sins? Let's go through them again. You're going to know these by the time we're done with this, possibly, hopefully. Greed, lust, sloth, pride, envy, wrath, and gluttony. Those are the 7 deadly sins. What are the 7 heavenly virtues that we learned today, or talked about today? Charity, chastity, diligence, humility, kindness, patience, and temperance. Now, I encourage all of you to look into these things, Google, dive into these things. I wanted to cover that the heavenly virtues, because everybody talks about deadly sins. Nobody talks about the heavenly virtues, which is how you counteract the 7 deadly sins. So you try to help. If you have issues with one of these 7 deadly sins, which we all do, none of us are perfect. That's why we're still here. We're still in the process of improving ourselves and being the best version. That you can maybe find out what the counterbalance. If you think you're a greedy person and you find yourself very greedy, try to break the cycle by practicing charity instead of greed. Charity. If you think you're a lustful person, you're lusting all the time. Fight your lust with chastity. I like to just call it purity, but they call it chastity. You know what I'm saying? You don't fight the urge, man. It's not. When you age and you become older, you realize that all those great fun times and partying didn't really matter, man. That's why you're not with the people now. It was a good time for a second. That's it. So fight lust with chastity. Fight sloth, laziness, as I call it. Fight sloth nature with diligence. Put forth effort. You find yourself slacking off, like, make yourself work harder. It's a good way to practice a positive work ethic, obviously. But it's a way to help change that mind perspective, change the programming that you're used to, the everyday life, try to break the cycle. If you find yourself you're very prideful, like I'm better than everybody else, everybody else is beneath me, try to practice humility, try to counteract it. Humility is what you need to try to practice. If you find yourself to be very envious, envy of everybody, and this, that, and the other, fight it with kindness. Be like, good job on getting that. You deserve that. Don't be like, they don't deserve it. It should be mine. Fight that mindset if you have it. When it comes to wrath, if you find yourself really quick to temper and you're angry, and you go 0 to 60 really fast, try to practice patience. Now, God knows patience is not an easy one to acquire. I'm still trying to acquire patience, and I'm like 41, homie. Yeah, it happens. Keep at it, right? I do a lot better now than I did when I was younger, when I was 20, 21, etc. But still work in progress. Patience, because I'm so like now, fast. And patience is like slow, take steady. It's just too slow for my taste, but you have to do it. Well, you don't have to, but you should do it. Just try to be better. Gluttony. If you find yourself overindulging in things, try to practice temperance. But like, I'm not giving into this desire. I'm cutting it off. I'm doing better. Really try. Well, this video was supposed to be a lot more organized, but I just wanted to bring light to the heavenly virtues that nobody really talks to. And by practicing the heavenly virtues, it's the best way to try to overcome the deadly sin aspect. These are like human nature. Because reality is, human nature is all about greed, lust, sloth, pride, envy, wrath, and gluttony, if you think about it. And heavenly, trying to do better and be the best version of yourself, is all about charity, chastity, diligence, humility, kindness, patience, and temperance. So try to break the cycle, man. If you're stuck on one of these, try to improve. You never stop improving till the day you're dead. So get out there and get it in, and I'll see you all in the next one.